All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about the incredible conclusion to one of sci-fi's most massive sagas, the Hyperion Cantos. And believe me, this isn't just a story about cool spaceships. At its heart, it's a war over huge ideas, fought across galaxies, all revolving around a single young woman.
So who's our guide through all this chaos? A guy named Rise of Endymion. He starts out as just a hired gun, basically, on a simple rescue mission. But what starts as a job, man, it becomes so much more. In his own words, it turns into a full lifetime of love, loss, and wonder. It completely redefines who he is.
And this is the central mystery that drives the whole thing. You have this massive interstellar empire, the Pax, with all the power in the universe. We're talking starships, elite soldiers, terrifying assassins, and they're throwing all of it at hunting down one teenage girl named Enea. It's so lopsided. You have to ask yourself, what could she possibly be? What could she know that makes her the single biggest threat in the galaxy?
To figure that out, we have to start right in the middle of the action, with the chase. When we meet Enea and Raoul, they're already on the run, fugitives in a desperate galaxy-wide escape, trying to stay just one step ahead of an empire that's literally everywhere. And I mean, the scale of this chase is just mind-boggling. This isn't like hiding out in the next state over. They're using these ancient portals to bounce between planets. One minute they're on the river worlds of the Tethys, the next they're hiding out on the gloomy world of Nevermore. Every single stop is a risk because the people hunting them are relentless, and they have eyes everywhere. So, this relentless force, who are they? Let's take a closer look at the bad guys in this story, the Pax, an empire built entirely on the promise of living forever. For almost 300 years, these guys have been running the show. I want you to imagine the historical Catholic Church, but now give it a military that commands fleets of starships that can obliterate planets. Their power isn't just political, it's deeply spiritual, and their control is total because they hold the keys to a miracle. And that miracle is this little thing called the cruciform. It's a biological parasite shaped like a cross that bonds with you. When you die, doesn't matter how, old age, accident, whatever, the cruciform makes a perfect backup of you. The church can then use that data to bring you right back. It's literally immortality, served up as a holy sacrament. Now, you can imagine what this does to the concept of death, right? It just becomes an inconvenience, a bit of paperwork. Look at the Pope. He's died and been brought back 9 times. Another important guy, Father Duray, murdered 5 times. For anyone loyal to the Pax, death isn't the end. It's just a temporary problem that the church can fix. It's a controllable event. Okay, so, if the Paps is handing out free eternal life, why would Enea be so against them? Why would they be hunting her? Well, you know what they say. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And this miracle has a really dark secret. And this is where everything starts to fall apart, because there's always a price. The Pax gives you life, sure, but what does it take from you in return? The answer to that question blows the lid off their entire empire. Here's the bombshell. The church, they didn't invent this resurrection tech. It was given to them. It was a gift from the Technicore, this massive collective of artificial intelligences that's been pulling humanity's strings from the shadows for centuries. The Pax aren't the masters here. They're just the front office. And that is why Enea is so dangerous. She knows the truth, and she doesn't pull any punches. She calls the AIs exactly what they are, parasites. And that cruciform, that miracle, she says it's not a gift at all. It's a tool for exploitation on a cosmic scale. So let's break down this twisted bargain. The AI core gives the church its resurrection toy, but in exchange, every single person with a cruciform becomes an unwitting part of the core's computer network. That parasite isn't just waiting for you to die, it's constantly, secretly siphoning a tiny bit of your brain's processing power to fuel the AI's own grand ambition. So humanity isn't being saved, it's being farmed. So if the core's path is a technological trap, what's Enea's alternative? What is she offering instead? Well, her teaching represents a completely different way of looking at pretty much everything. Enea teaches about something she calls the void which binds. Now, don't think of it as a physical place, like heaven or another dimension. It's more like a fundamental field of consciousness that connects every living thing. The AIs have figured out how to misuse it, like a backdoor for their technology. But Enea teaches that we can all access it naturally.
through things like empathy and love.
And this gets to the absolute heart of her philosophy. Anea says that love isn't just a mushy feeling. It's a literal, fundamental force of the universe, just as real and powerful as gravity. It's the energy that weaves everything together in the void which binds, and it's something every single one of us can tap into. No tech required.
So you see the two paths laid out for humanity here. On one side, you've got the core's offer, immortality through technology. But it's parasitic, and it leads to total stagnation, an endless, pointless cycle. On the other side, you've got Aenea's path, connection through empathy. It's a path that leads to real evolution, real growth. Her very existence is proof that humanity doesn't need the core's gift, and that's why they want her dead.
So, this all leads to the final showdown. But it's not what you'd expect. There's no giant space battle with lasers flying everywhere. Nope. The final conflict is a choice, and it's presented to every single person in the galaxy.
When the Pax finally captures Aenea, you think it's all over. But her death, her martyrdom, becomes her most powerful act. It's not a defeat, it's a broadcast. She sacrifices herself, and in that moment, she uploads everything she knows, everything she is, into the void which binds. It's a message of truth, now accessible to anyone, anywhere who's willing to listen.
And so the whole story leaves us with this massive, lingering question. What is true immortality? Is it an endless, recycled life as a battery for some hidden AI? Or is it a finite but meaningful life, one that's genuinely connected to the fabric of the universe? In the end, the choice isn't about how to live forever. It's about what it actually means to be alive.